So, call it meeting. Are you sick? I am. Just in my throat.
You want a match?
Oh, no,
Last time I had somebody say that I got COVID.
oh, no, I did take it.
You take it?
I did. Yeah, if I. All right. This position.
I just want to let you know, I'm here representing both coasts and Tri-Town.
You really thought. Okay. Terrific. Thanks. Any comments from citizens? Okay. Approval of minutes from Thursday, September.
Yeah. Motion to approve. Really quick question.
Yes.
Minutes. Two, that last paragraph. The third line down in that there, request for qual. Updated height, is that fish?
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Yeah, this one.
And on the minutes with and correction.
Oh, there's another one.
Okay.
6B. Is that supposed to be your last name?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Nice
So
to see you.
can I get a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Hi.
Oh, any discussion? Yes. All right. Reports. Hello.
Have any first? All property of Groton based and reviewed as required by the land plans, except for their Rio Antonino ceremony in the road. Interestingly enough, when we were doing due diligence, there's a road at the bottom of the property that now shows on the Groton GIS, the road across our property. We were asked to repair the road. So we looked further into it with Ms. Boyer, who has a professional complex over there. And when they went back in the records, they found that the road actually took a professional complex. So we're in the process of getting a new survey, and there'll be a new GIS map to the Rio Antonino property road. That's the road that comes out on Route 184, the traffic light. It's the road that's used by the fire trucks. One of our solutions was to close the road because we didn't. Then they went off, and then they went off to the side. Maybe somebody else owned it after all. The Betty Chapman Conservation Restriction Property, which is not open to the public, was thoroughly reviewed on site with the current property owner this past Monday. He is the third owner of this conservation restriction. And I just brought some ancient history. I don't know if you have it, but at one time, the BB Pond Park trails went over the back of that conservation restriction. So with John Silsby's help, we moved the Groton Trail from BB Pond that belonged to the town of Groton. We moved it onto town of Groton. And it took many years for most people to stop using Japanese, which is not open to as a path. let's see, we had an annual meeting, Emily held their annual meeting last night. It was very well attended. The delegational officers were elected, and Terry Eichel, the Director of Development, recapped various Avalonian events and activities with a wonderful PowerPoint presentation. And Avalonia's Nature Hero Awards and outstanding volunteers. I have some of these maps if anybody's. You know, there's 170 some odd acres over there between BB and the Moore Woodlands and all of that. And that conservation restriction that Vintage is almost entirely surrounded by town park. It's interesting. Thank you.
You're gonna send that in email?
Not all of it.
No, just what you read.
Yes, what I read.
Yeah.
Not my extras.
Let's see, top property. Back. Been around. Actually, Bruce, what was? Oh, Mary Walk, October.
Yeah.
So around October 20th. Bradford Library held an event out of Luminary Walk. So there was quite a number of families went out. I entertained Bruce and group, and there was a whole bunch of very airy houses that both here and over at the library. And there was bags with for the luminaries. I guess it was Bruce, you were there.
I think it
didn't
was
go,
fantastic. I think
Yeah.
there was more adults than I thought than kids. I thought more kids would come, but actually
Yeah.
adults, families.
Yeah.
I think for a first time event, it was really well attended. And
Yeah.
staff did a great job. We had Jesse, guitar ukulele last year. Together about 12 of us.
Yeah.
Played music for 2 hours in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a huge success.
Yeah, and I know they're planning on. And it was a fundraiser for the Groton Parks Foundation. And what's that?
Did you hear how much they raised?
$800. And I think, excuse me, the first year, I think overall they were really satisfied. You know, it was a great way to. They handed out some information about the Parks Foundation. I think everybody got M&Ms that was the postcard. And so purpose, raise awareness about the Parks Foundation department, and also just to get folks out on the trails that they have. It was a good event. Yeah.
It was a nice night. It wasn't rainy.
Right.
It wasn't windy.
Yeah.
Really quite beautiful in the woods. We were all really deep in the band part.
Yeah.
Really deep in the woods.
And I guess the one which was the portable light tower that lit up the parking lot that died. So I guess it was dark, went out, but people, you know, everyone's only flashlight. They were able to, but I guess last. Anyway. Town Trail. Don't really have any.
Well, I'm
Anxious
standing
to
by
say
there.
something.
As far as from Groton Open Space. In the Greenway, yes, we're standing by right now as far as from our. What's going to happen with the ARPA fund. We made an effort between Tri-Town Trail, those
Right.
relative to
Yeah.
what's going to happen. Marking of the state approved Greenway. And that's all hung up right now.
Yeah, can we put on the spot? This is probably the last.
I don't know how we do.
been on the agenda twice, on the 9th and then the 15th of November, and there was no action.
We just, we kind of,
Informational, so, they haven't, right now with the company, the long-term recovery committee has made their recommendations.
Right,
They ranked up 20. 2 projects that were submitted for yours is the Parks and Rec is rated number 3, I think,
Right.
and then, Tri-Town Trails is number.
Right.
And in that package of 20. So I want my thing to finish.
Yeah.
Politics. Okay.
That is-
It's supposed to be on.
is it on Tuesday?
But I don't know if it's, it hasn't gotten out of the committee of the whole yet.
But it's gonna be on that. Some kind of discussion.
Wait to see what happens.
It's in the agenda.
No pressure, Bruce. Trails we would make.
solved too.
So as far as my crosstown trail, I would say that is.
Yeah.
Groton open space perspective. The other thing from Groton open space, if you want to continue on your agenda here. They've had, so they have, at their trailheads, they have large signs that they post. And that were metal and big posts and stuff, and 3 of those at 3 different locations in the town were stolen. They left the post, but just took the signs. And those signs are used for about $400. Before they go forward right now, ask from there to make sure that we're coordinating the mark of the greenway.
Right.
How we want to do that so that goes to before they do anything right now there, because they generally, it's on their blue trail area, particularly on the Merritt. That's one of the signs that was taken. They're gonna have to put up a new sign, so they want to make sure that it's got the right markings on it. They want to be coordinated with the town. And so I press on them that where we are right now is as this issue is right there. But in this one,
And that's one of those trails that went really high on our.
Number 3.
budget. Yeah, number 3 was.
number 3 out of
Wow.
that's out of the 60 or
Yeah.
whatever that was submitted.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Just. No pressure. Yeah, then, we also had a sign stolen. Over Sparkle.
Oh, Sparkle Lake.
Yeah, we just was, in fact, I didn't even pay and that was.
There's no way to attach those so that they.
We thought that, the way they were in there pretty solid.
Yeah.
From having been involved in the installation. They actually had to take some effort because the way they did it, they basically extracted the screws and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of effort to get them out.
Yeah,
And
and
minimal
actually,
damage that they did.
trying out in Millwood Creek install. Found that all the bolts.
You got bendables, we used to do for our projects. We used to take, when they went through the sign.
Yeah.
Just take a sledge to it and just bend them,
Bended it
and
enough
then
so that
they
you
can't
can't
get
back
off.
off.
Or just kind of hit it.
Yep, just hit it down, just like.
Yeah.
I mean, then they have to, that's the only way to get
Right,
it off. is
right.
to Take it off, but
It just seems so targeted, like, unless you really know those trails and you find,
Yeah,
it just seems like,
They obviously wanted big pieces of that.
maybe that's what they wanted. Yeah, I mean, if you're really doing vandalism, knock the whole thing over.
Yeah,
Put a
right.
chain around it, just drag it down.
Yeah.
They did, they very carefully took the bolts out, leave the bolts lying around. They just-
Yeah.
That's interesting.
we would have to, yeah, we get some. Lines from that. So just do- And
Yeah.
just hit a couple times with the sledge, not that you can't back it out.
right.
Okay.
The sign at the Congregational Church. Yeah, Fort Griswold, they took a chainsaw to it.
Wow.
That's a new sign, so there must be a sign that it. These things are not cheap.
Oh, I know. Yeah, each one of those signs that we put up, the parks, $100.
Good thing you had graffiti cleanup too for some.
No, well, we're only replacing them once they fucking fall down.
Yeah.
Tom, anything else?
Not for Gosa,
Okay.
ready for Titan Trail.
All right, well, town trails, let everybody know. When we went through the budget. This fiscal year, there was money approved for the major road. Probably gonna stop happen in the next couple of months. Hasn't been up since 2000. And there will be an extensive. But bidding is gonna take. I wouldn't expect. The project would actually start. Something. And, you know, people do that. There's. On the trails, like that.
That's the master.
Bike and pedestrian. Yes, yeah.
I can,
Some of you may be aware of this already, but there's going to be money from the state. The recreation trails grant is going to be announced pretty soon. I think this year there's $9 million that are going to be available. And last 7 or 8 years is 9 million. Oh. There you go, look at that. They're activated.
are there grants from the town to that?
Yes, so there's, in this year's budget, I got $25,000 towards upcoming, whatever grants are available. I had no idea. I'd be available, so. And those are 80. So. We've got our 1%.
Did I see in here where you're funding the proposed little bike path out here that goes around?
Yes, that is in the FYE 24 budget. That's right. That's to create a gravel walk that would go past the hockey rink and out around the athletic, and then back. It would be the libraries. Kind of taking off from that, going out behind.
Yes.
And connecting to the paved walkway that's between the road and so it'd be like a giant. Yeah.
Tri-Town Trail,
You got to put that. So, okay.
right here. Mentioned the recreation trails grant, just for an update on that. The Tri-Town Trail coordinated with kind of Ledger last year's grant that was awarded. They made the RFP went out. There was only one bidder on it, so Tuesday they'll be doing Pedro Town Council approval final award for us, of course. That'll be for development of the Tri-Town Trail, where it ends right now up in Ledger Park Farm all the way down to Route 107. That's what you just see. Route 214. So that's for the planning for the next section of the coming south. Also, right now the current trail that was open last year is closed now. It got closed this past last week by Eversource. At both locations at the Red Barn on Route 17, as well as Community Park, they're putting in new poles, and so they completely blocked off any access to the trail. So not having much activity now because this, and that'll probably close probably March, April. They say springtime. Don't know when that's all going to happen. and as I mentioned earlier, our Groton portion, Groton utilities. We're number 14 in that ranking. Those will go forward. Waiting to hear from that. And then the last item is Groton utilities. Groton utilities surveys information, went out and hired a consultant. Look at what the impacts are of putting the tri-trail on their property. That consultant has completed his report. It's in the review process, and there'll be a public review of that at their meeting on the 21st of this.
Is that something?
Well, that's gonna,
You know,
then the Groton Utilities Board will have to make a decision on how to go forward, working with the Tri-Town Trail for the extending the Groton portion from because right now the ask from the Tri-Town Trail to them is to have a hookup from Route 117, Gate 23 area of the property, right? And then working along, then with that in place, then Tri-Town Trail will go to DOT, make sure we go down back to the area here and
Yeah.
right at the gate, being
and you said that was on,
21st
and that's,
at the municipal on board.
oh, okay. But is that something?
No, it's in the as I said, public.
But there's not gonna be attached to the agenda even?
I don't know how, the Groton Utility Board, all they do is put an agenda out, okay? But the consultant will be making a PowerPoint presentation at that meeting.
And you have to attend, there's a,
I know that there's a virtual option for the board members to attend. I don't know if it's open to the general public. They may be, I just have never had the opportunity to go there. But they're supposed to, I know that they routinely have board members zooming in. But I don't know how, I don't know if the public ever asked, you ever asked to go on and Zoom from it? She attends the meetings too. We've been going pretty routinely for a lot.
Yes,
months
it's
here.
been a long haul.
Yeah.
No particular.
But I don't know.
Review documentation.
oh,
But,
and there's no. Question.
Well, they always have an open session if you want to, but that's before the presentation.
Oh,
I'm just letting you know that it's out there.
It's just like this meeting, your correspondence and communications, that's what goes on in Groton Utilities, if you want to say anything.
Yeah.
It's before the
right.
presentation of the information you like to comment on.
And we don't know if they're available.
It's not going to be made available. It'll be made, it should, hopefully it'll be made available after the, I know that it's, the report that we have working with Ron is that they have it and it's being presented, the way the mayor stated it, that they would have it this week to the members so they can review it prior to their meeting.
All right.
Been a long process.
That's all the updates I have from Tri.
Unfinished business, there's new business. Actually, already time.
I have one question.
Sure.
A new business item. The things Joan mentioned that there was he attended the Colonial annual meeting last night. One of the things that I took away from that, they have a new property up in Norwich, and they made a big thing about having accessibility at that. They've actually had people in wheelchairs go out on that property. They've set up in their parking area, a special area for wheelchair accessibility and stuff. And I was just wondering, it got me thinking overnight here, as far as one place in Groton that I can think of that was similar to that would be at the cop property in the town.
Yeah.
Do you have all that in place already, wheelchair accessibility, or is there any effort to expanding that in a similar way that Avalonia is looking at up at Norwich? Yeah.
gravel,
Right.
but I think we would have to extend.
I thought they designed it, I thought it was designed the really wide.
Oh, there is, yeah. but I'm
Yeah.
not sure that there's accessible park.
But no, you've got to have HC. But it's.
I was gonna say, what's the
Well,
status of all the accessibility for, if you wanted to focus, say Groton is doing something as far as an accessible trail,
Yeah,
should we be looking at the top as,
Yeah.
you know, the
Yeah.
easiest starting point for that process?
Right.
Okay, because I noticed there was also a accessible parking space added on Culver Drive
Right.
prior to the Boulder section. Now, was
Yeah.
that done by the town or
Yes.
you guys did that? And that's for access for who?
right.
And it's just sitting at the end of the street. And I didn't know if that's for pickup or something.
No,
for the
that's
apartment.
the parking for the Boulder Heights, open space that's there. That was.
Right.
Yeah, that's the parking on the street. They didn't have to create a parking lot. But I'm quite sure your site plan has a, for when it was initially constructed, what the signage is going. But
Yeah,
the
but I'm
building
just wondering,
requires-
it's a handy spot on the pavement, then you have to cross over the gravel in order to get on the trail. That's what I'm not sure.
Is it stone dust or is it?
Stone dust. I mean, that's.
Well, the trail is stone.
Yeah.
But if there is a designated handicap parking spot on the pavement stops,
Right.
and then it goes to gravels. I think we would have to extend parking.
I don't think the handicap access actually has to. On that
Oh.
bit.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a
But
relatively flat
it
lot,
is,
so,
it is.
all right, so I'll have to,
Yeah. And you've got, like, I mean, it's not a trail, but you've got a handicap access at the point, right? You've got those mats.
yeah, there will be
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah, that's more of a
Yeah.
park. I'm looking for a trail. This gives us a trail passport. That's the only reason I'm asking.
Right.
But the trail and up.
You can actually go.
Doesn't,
Yeah,
then it goes in the
yeah,
grass,
right.
it could be very different.
Surprisingly, because that's the whole thing, that one of the comments that they brought up at the meeting was that they actually brought a person in a wheelchair, but they enjoyed the grass. Okay, because it's not like going on a street. I don't need that they don't need the full, there's a spectrum of how much accessibility, but even in a wheelchair, I think a long way of the cop would be considered usable without even going to a special type of, having special wheelchairs that are like tracks and that, you know, because there's towns that provide, have those so that you can transfer into a tracking and go out on into their different areas to go fishing, this type of stuff. There's towns that have that access, but provide additional.
Oh, I mean, the long-term property, they came up with kind of a Captain Frost work. And the idea was to have that gravel path all the way around. It's started, it goes all the ways past the bridge. And then it kind of splits. There's a section between where the park or where the trail splits into the dog park. It's like old, I think it used to be.
I think it's the house.
Yeah.
It's all broken, yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
so that whole section. But the eventual goal. Through that whole thing. Yeah. Have a gravel and most of that trail is flat. Yeah. Oh, we're almost.
The other question.
Yeah.
This is this going to connect to New Memorial? As it goes around the library, will it connect into that so you could walk Memorial and then back out?
Yeah, I have not seen the plans for the.
That was exactly that.
Oh, okay.
We haven't seen full plans yet, but the.
Yeah,
ground
but
does
they
that.
do, that's just, I thought might as well connect.
Yeah.
Two things are there, you might. connect. I mean, I think it's a selling point when you present it. Okay. Next memorial and
Right.
Now, does this property that you have right next door here is a dedicated almost? Are you going into any expanding any kind of trails? Because right now there's no trail system.
Yeah, that is not it.
Like 5 acres. Yeah, it's not connected to this.
No,
There's no- you have to drive between
Right.
sidewalk to get up in there. And there's a little bit of pool out right next to 117, but it's just dry.
I don't know if this is looked at for an expansion in there with the master plan.
Yeah. But that certainly is, would come up. Like,
And I think that property, all that property back here is contracted for sale, so if somebody could do the site plan, maybe we can get an easement across.
right, yeah.
But I actually read it. Like,
But got one vote, I guess so. And you are all witnesses. He changes his mind.
I was at the film library in Ledger the other day, I picked up a flyer from the Ledger Parks and Rec. They've got just one of these things you had done in the seniors. Sort of hike all our trails and get a little badge,
Oh, yeah.
but you didn't have to hike the trail. You didn't have to take any pictures. Interesting, and just had to say you were there.
Oh. Okay.
So the one that you did a couple of years ago, where, was it Cindy that put the little things out on different trees and
Yeah,
places?
yes,
You
yeah,
had to take a picture of yourself,
right.
a selfie.
Yeah, I think that was turning.
Yeah,
Outside.
this is sort of fun to get.
Yeah.
Was that well attended? I never followed up to see.
I'd have to go back and check. Yeah, I mean, the more people you can get outside, the
It's a
better.
little game,
Yeah, and make it fun,
little challenge.
right?
was there any move to put like exercise stations now on some of these? Benches?
Yeah, yeah. It's actually, I'm gonna say, your field. I don't see a lot of. reason. I think now. They're kind of all clustered, it's almost like. Constant.
Right, stick them on.
Yeah. Right, right. Okay, so last thing on the agenda is the 20 dates. And those would be, assuming that being quarterly makes sense for everybody. Be 360, 615, 921, 12/7, and we do the meeting in December early, just as normally. But if that for everybody, that would be our meetings next year,
That's March the 16th, June
15,
15th.
Yeah.
September
20. And then December 7th. Yeah. Right. Okay. This week.
Eat on.
All right.
Oh, no, I'm just.
All right. Oh, can I get a motion?
Move adjourned.
happy holidays.
August. Okay, terrific. All right.
Keeping it going. Your next hat, Tom.
Oh,
Yeah, it's on your back, so.
that's what I agree.
Yeah.
Over trails.
Yes.
No, he asked me.
So, yeah, we kept on being. And, I was just.
All right.
Sent you an email.
You got that. Actually, I have site.
I so much further.
These color all different colors.
I did that. Go to it.
Let's go to both.
With three.
So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I get.
That's right.
Yeah, yes.
Right?
All right, thank you.
No, not so much. Yeah. Now it's all. good stuff.
But that was, that's an important.
Yeah.
for-
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
is-
Oh.